except about porn. Like, I don't want black guys in my porn whatsoever. Not at all. And when I tell people that, they're like, you don't want black guys in your porn? You're racist. I'm like, I'm not racist. They're like, well, you're just jealous because black guys have big dicks. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't like the assumption that everything I think about revolves around dicks. That is not the way my brain works all the time. It's not always like, oh, look at that dick, I'm not interested in that. It's not that I don't like black guys' dicks. It's that... it's that big black dicks look delicious. They look like pastries. Like, we used to go, a couple of you out here in the crowd, we used to go to this little bakery called Bresty's that sold donuts at like 4 o'clock in the morning. We get there, the famous donut they had was called a chocolate stick. It was like a chocolate donut that was like 7 inches long and like that wide. You'd walk in, we'd always get high, and they'd be like, yeah, do you want to try a chocolate stick? We'd be high as fuck, and they'd be like, oh, let's all laugh because it sounds like, do you want to try a chocolate stick? So now every time I look at one, my stomach starts rumbling, and I'm like, I wonder if Bresty's is still open. They're not open yet, but I could use a donut, I'm sure, in like 4 or 5 hours. And it's hard to jerk off when you're starving. So, next. So then I go through, and I'm just clicking through next, all these things, sadly, because of dicks. Because the next one I go to, it's always about the guy, it's never about the girl. It's not that she's ugly or trashy or anything like that. I'm like, look at that guy, what the fuck, he's fatter than I am. Like, I'm not gonna do any sit-ups, but I'm not making adult films. Do a fucking sit-up, you're disgusting. The next guy comes up, I'm like, what is this, 1976? You don't have to shave your back to be in an adult film? That's fucking gross. Next one shows up, I'm like, how do you have so much ball skin? Like, seriously, you don't have big balls, you have a big ball sack. It looks like you put 2 eggs in a hefty cinch sack. It's just fucking sticking to the inside of your thighs, and it's just fucking like 2 little nuts on you. Disgusting. So finally, I find this porn, and I'm about ready to give up, because mind you, at this point, I mean, we're talking about tonight. It's like 6:40, and I'm like, I gotta go get a few drinks before I get off fucking stage. I don't have time for this. I'm gonna get on stage with a boner and 2 balls, and nobody's gonna laugh. I'm gonna go home and have to jerk off quietly while my parents are sleeping in the room next door. It's gonna be the worst fucking night ever. So finally, this next porn comes up, and it's finally a wonderful looking woman and a good looking guy, and they're normal, they're doing their thing, and all of a sudden I'm like, strong like bull, I'm ready to go. So, and that's the hardest thing for guys when they're jerking off. It's not actually to get yourself to come, it's to get yourself hard enough to where you can come. This porno, that's just the way it works for men. So I get there and I'm like, now I'm good to go. There's like Olympic seconds until I'm gonna finish, right? And I don't wanna like finish in the middle of a porn because then it's like I'm some pervert that's just watching. There's 2 people in the middle of fucking and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna finish. No, I can't do that, that's disgusting. So I fast forward to the end so we can all come together. You know what I'm saying? So we can all end up at fruition at the same time. So he's banging away at her and banging away, and she's like, never stop fucking me, never stop. I'm like, you better hurry the fuck up, bitch, because I'm gonna have to stop fucking you in about 4 seconds. This shit's about to be over. So let me slide this thing here real quick. So they keep on fucking, and he pulls out, and she jumps off, and she does the proud porno pose, which for the ladies is leaning back like this, just waiting for him to shower her with gifts. And so he's jerking off now and just waiting to come right on her face. And she's like, yeah, I want it so bad. And he's like, yeah, I bet you do. And I'm like, yeah, I bet she does. Conversation with each other, like we're right next to each other. And then he does the weirdest thing. He's jerking off, and if you're a man, you emulate what's going on in porn. You want to be doing what they're doing. So he's fucking just jerking off like. He's like jerking it off real hard, but then he takes his left hand, and I can see he's fucking straining. And he takes his fingers like this and wraps it around the bottom and squeezes it. I can just see him squeezing it real hard while he's fucking jerking it off. And I'm like, maybe this is some porno magic trick. I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I would jerk off like this, and then I watched porn, and I'm like, you could take the whole thing upside down. That's fucking amazing. That changed my life when I was 13. So I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing. He's fucking holding it real hard on the bottom. He's jerking off, and they're getting off, and she's like, yes, and I'm like, And then I look down, and there's no comb. There's just no comb anywhere, and I'm like, oh my God. I squeezed it so hard I broke it. I was fucking really holding on tight. I'm like, I fucking broke it. Oh my God. So I look down at it, and I go to take my fucking fingers off the bottom of it, and it's like, and that's how I am not wearing my favorite shirt. So